Welcome aboard. You can call me T or Tange, and I'm your New York City-based flight attendant for a major U.S. airline. If you enjoy seeing and learning about the job of a flight attendant and our layovers, then you're in the right place. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good early morning. It is 6 a.m. on a Thursday. We are headed to Paris. We have a long Paris. It's 30-something hours, and this is a new one for us because it's 6 in the morning and we're headed to Paris. I'll tell you about it later. I'm headed to the Flight Attendant Lounge where we brief for transoceanic flights, aka TOs. One of the things we do during briefing is select where we want to work on the flight in seniority order. The sign-up sheet provides information about my responsibilities during the flight as well as a seating chart. This is my office for the day, main cabin of a Boeing 764 aircraft. We deplaned the aircraft around 9:15 and then headed over to the bus to catch our crew van to the hotel. First thing I had to do was heat up my food when I arrived because for whatever reason, my hot logic was not working. But thankfully, we do have a pantry with an available microwave. After getting settled in my room, I checked some emails and began to relax. So we're in Paris, guys. FYI, if you didn't know, now you know. I'm back in Paris again, but this Paris is different because it's nighttime now. We have a new Paris out of JFK. It's new for the season. Summer, Paris is hosting the Olympics, which is why I think we have this new added Paris to our roster. And the Paris being a morning departure. Typically, Paris or any TO, transoceanic, we leave in the afternoon, evening in New York. So then we arrive in our destination in the morning of that destination because of the time difference. So with this Paris, being that we leave early morning, New York time, 8 a.m., we then arrive to the destination at 9 p.m. So we arrived, I think the flight landed around 8:45 or so, Paris time. This trip is dope because we have 2 nights here. That's the dopeness of this trip. We land at night in the evening, and then we have the full day tomorrow, and then stay another night tomorrow, and then leave on Saturday morning, and then get back to New York in the morning because of the time changes. And this trip was actually on my line, and by on your line, that means on your schedule. Like it's scheduled to you. You didn't have to pick it up or swap into it or anything. So tomorrow, one of the other guys on the crew, he is going to Versailles, and he invited me along, and I really truly think I'm gonna go because I've never been, and it's just one of those things, like, you know, it's there, but are you really gonna go? So he's going, and, you know, he said, you're welcome to come along with me. And it's like, why not? What else am I gonna do? Anyway, I'm gonna try to get some sleep. I'll talk to you later. See you tomorrow. It's the next morning in Paris, and I woke up before my alarm, which never happens. Okay, so I'm headed out to meet my crew member. We're gonna go to Versailles, my first time. I'm kind of excited.
Actuellement, un quai pour 22 de destination de l'Antérêt qui se prend les services à l'égard de la défense standard.
On camera the way it looks in person. The Palace of Versailles was built in the 17th century for King Louis XIV and was the main royal residence until the French Revolution and the overthrow of the monarchy in 1789. From this point, I'm just going to share some highlights of the palace with you because there is just way too much historical information and I do not want to mess up and provide you with the wrong details. I will, however, pop in tidbits along the way. Thankfully, the pass that we used came with an audio guide because there was just so much information. The Palace of Versailles is history itself. There's so many different rooms and so much information about each of these rooms. It would have been hard to get through all of this without the audio guide, so thankfully it was included. There were informational placards throughout the palace, but they were all in French, rightfully so. Cannot see or tell how beautiful this really is. Starting to listen. These seem to be little restaurants in here.
There's restaurants back up in this one.
Oh. You gonna eat, girl. It's okay.
This one square that we're in right here.
Oh.
And then over there is a whole nother one.
We are at Disney World or something. This was my favorite fountain. Unfortunately, not all of the fountains were on this day, but there are days when all of them are on, and I'm sure it's beautiful. This is the King's Garden. We following Troop Beverly Hills. Oh. Yeah. What? This looks better than the King's place.
I know. It's gorgeous.
This was my crew member's favorite fountain. Just getting back to the room. It was a long day, honey. A long day. It is currently 10:30 on the dot. I've been out the room since 11:15 this morning. Had a great layover, a great time. Palace of Versailles was beyond words. It was just crazy to think that this was someone's home at one point in time. But anyway, I'll get into all of that a little bit later. I need to start packing my stuff up because this room looks a mess from when I left it. So yeah, I'm gonna start packing my things up so in the morning I don't have to do so much. Look at this room, crazy. Today was so productive. One of my crew members has a yearly pass, so he's been trying to go there as much as possible, or wants to go there as much as possible before his pass runs out. He invited me along with him. It actually worked out perfectly. I didn't have any real plans. We got off the train around, I want to say 12:40, and we got in, let's say we got inside at 1. So from 1 until about 7, didn't think I was going to be there that long, but it's just so massive. It's insane how big this place is. They only let you walk around the perimeter inside the castle, from what I'm aware of. You don't get to go into like the little rooms. I forgot how many rooms they said it was. You don't get to go into each and every one of them, obviously, but you get to see the main spots. Just to think, we only walked around the perimeter, and that took however long, and then from there we went to the gardens. So the gardens and the actual palace is two separate things. So you can get a pass to go to one or the other, or both. And with his yearly pass, we had the option to do both. So of course we did it. And even the gardens was its own time. It was massive and incredibly detailed and just opulent and beautiful. It was crazy. I'm like, there was literally no words for it. Like, who thought of this? I was literally amazed. It was pretty cool that I got to go, because I probably would not have gone on my own, because the train ride's super easy, super quick, right? But me thinking or hearing it or going by myself, it was probably just would have been like, I'm either going to hop in an Uber or I'm not going, because it just seemed far away, but it really wasn't. So I'm glad that he offered for me to come along, and I'm glad I got to experience it. Do I need to go back? No. Did it? Glad that I did. Check. And let's move on to the next thing. And shout out to him, because he was the perfect tour guide. He was mapping us out, figuring out which way, which direction we needed to go. He's been here before, so he was familiar, but still he was, holding it down with making sure we got to where we needed to go. And even with some of the information about the palace, he knew some things. After that, we made our way back to the city, super tired, but we had to eat, and I wanted escargot. I want escargot again, because last time I was here, it was the first time I tried it, and I was like, next time I go back, I'm getting me some more escargot. We had dinner and had a little chicken. That was it. Back to the room. Now I think it's close to midnight at this point, and pickup tomorrow is at 7:10 in the morning. So this layover is totally worth it. This little 30+ hour layover, I think all of our international flights, or TOs, transoceanics, should have a 30+ hour layover. But I just work here. Put that in the suggestion box. Let me go ahead and go to sleep so I can get home tomorrow. We get in early tomorrow, Saturday. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, leave me a comment to let me know what you thought. Okay, we're leaving Paris. It is 7:05 in the morning. Pickup is at 7:10. Yeah. My camera shut off here, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back for the next one.